How about now? We got sound? We got sound now? Give me a test on this one. All right, we're good. All right, I am sharing this happiness. Oh, cool. We can see who's sharing it. Katrina Stewart, glad to have you from Toronto. Glad to have you here. All right, Mary, glad to have you. Thank you so much. All right, cool. We are live. We're going to get started here in just a minute. I've got some incredible information to share with you. I'm excited that you've joined us. For those of you that I haven't had the privilege to meet in person, uh, my name is Josh Denny. I've been involved in uh, network marketing, relationship marketing, whatever you want to call it, that space for now 20 years. I've been full time for the last 17 years or so, with a short maybe 12-month break in the middle of that. And I've learned a lot in this process. Obviously, there's been a lot to learn. You can never learn everything, I think, about a particular subject matter, but in this particular business, I've been privileged and blessed to have been around some incredible leadership and have learned some amazing skills that happen over a period of time. My goal with you right now is to talk a little bit about uh, uh, what kind of eliminates a lot of the emotions. I want to take a little bit of time to talk about this business and concept and the philosophy behind it, and give you some tools. So by the time you get off of this webinar, you'll at least have something that you can implement immediately. For those of you that have read my book, Inevitable, of course, most of my philosophy is all in this book. It's the first of a series that I've started, but it's the whole process of how to think, right? In not just network marketing, but I think in life. And I'll give you a quick synopsis. It's like the scale, right? Scale of balance. And what I think about is, in anything in life, we're either adding to a negative or positive. And where that scale tips is where our life is predominantly going to be, right? So if we're adding more to the negative, we're going to be more in a negative situation, whether it be in our fitness, or it be in our spiritual walk, or whether it be in our relationships with almost anybody, whether it be in our actual health in general, whether it be in our financial situation, a business situation, whatever it may be. In all things we do every day, we're either adding to the negative side or the positive side. We know this in just our diet, right? There's an old saying that goes like this: we dig our grave with our teeth. Meaning that every time we eat something, it's we are what we eat. We've heard these phrases, but it's like those little choices that don't seem to make a big difference in the act of it that day or that moment. When you compound that stuff over time, it makes a massive difference in how your life turns out, right? Positive or negative, but we're adding to this on a consistent basis, right? So the idea here is, you in business, in our activity, we're either going to be on the positive side if we do that every day, over a long period of time. The scales tip in our favor, and we end up being in a good situation. Again, health-wise, we end up being in better physical condition, in better overall vitality. If it's in a spiritual situation, obviously that gets a lot better. Our walk is better. We're more close in a relationship, especially a marriage. Many of your marriage starts the day of your wedding, really, but it starts before that, and it continues. It never ends. It's a constant, never-ending improvement. You're always adding to one side. It's the concept of discipline or neglect. Discipline or neglect. Making the proper choices every day, or making the simple errors in judgment. And again, those are on either side of that scale. So the goal is to always add to the positive side. So let me give you something right now. And I'm going to draw this out on a piece of paper. I'm going to put it into focus. But if you can think of some negative emotions, just give me some negative emotions. Anybody, either Facebook Live or on the webinar, just type them in. Any negative emotions you may feel as you're doing this business. What do you feel? Any negative emotion, guys? What you guys got going on over here? All right, I'm going to go back to the chat. Fear. Okay, we're going to write down fear. Fear. What else? Everybody else? I can't. Okay, an emotion of I can't do it. I'm scared. I can't. All right, what else? Frustration. Frustration. I'm going to switch here. These are some big ones. Discouragement, right? Being discouraged. Anybody else? Disappointment. Jealousy. I like that. That's, like envy, jealousy. Let's see here. What else we got? Travis McNissy, what's up, buddy? Glad to have you here. So what are any other hungry? I don't know. Jermaine, you're hungry. I know that, buddy. I don't know if that's a negative emotion. So what are some negative emotions that, okay, so negative would be failure, right? Or a feeling of failure. Failure, failure not to succeed. I like that, Paula. Anybody else? How about anger? Right, that's a negative emotion. Angry, rejection. So, okay. Hey, Shanna, how are you? Allison, glad to have you guys there. All right, so we'll take some of these negative emotions, and I know on the webinar you're going to be able to see them. They're kind of reversed for you here on Facebook Live, but there's one thing that eliminates all this stuff, because I know how it happens, right? Let's put no down, hearing no, all right? What stopped me in the very beginning is I'd have all these emotions, right, in the day, and it would start to almost stop me. It would stop my forward motion. It would stop me from wanting to move forward in any way, because I'm scared, and that's understandable, right? They say a confused mind does nothing. And if you're confused, you're typically confused because you are in one of these negative emotions, right? You don't know what you're going to be able to do or not do. And so as you see this, there's one thing, and I'm going to do this for you Facebook guys first, but the one thing that gets rid of all of these emotions is activity, right? Activity eliminates it. So, and the less activity you start doing, the more these emotions start to creep back into your life. So activity is the dominant player. I'm going to do this again for you guys who see it the way I do, right? Activity. As activity comes in, this stuff goes away. As activity goes away, you start to see more of the emotion. So understand that this is the one thing that's going to separate you from everybody else. Because everybody has the same fear, believe it or not, right? Everybody has the same anxiety. Everyone has the same feeling that they're not good enough. They can't do it. I don't know if I can. I don't know if I'm worthy. I'm frustrated. Everyone's saying no. There's all these negative emotions. Everyone has that. The difference between those people you see succeeding at a high level in life, the only difference is that they fill their day with activity. They just pack their calendar out. My calendar, it's funny, I was telling a friend of mine this morning, I'm like, man, because at this stage of my life, I don't have to pack my calendar as much as I used to, but I do. I still do it. I'll book my calendar out almost every half hour, and it gets crazy. And then in the time that I'm not filling my calendar, I'm trying to catch up on the people I'm missing, all the inbound. And I do that because I'm always in motion, and that when you're always in motion, you don't have the time to be fearful. You don't have the time to be thinking, what if I can't? What if this isn't going to work? You don't have the time because it's already happening. You've scheduled that activity out, and you're in the motion there. Even if you feel it for a moment, you just got to get up and do it. It's kind of like working out, right? I'm in this CrossFit now. I did it last year with Cindy. Cindy stayed the course. Her fitness is remarkable. I mean, I'm just astonished at how well she has performed, where she couldn't even do a pull-up. Like, actually, she couldn't even hold on to the bar. Couldn't even hold on to it for any length of time. And now she's doing full strict pull-ups. I mean, it's remarkable. This lady is just amazing. She's an inspiration to me. I mean, she's now doing power cleans, and she's doing some Olympic lifting. It's quite astonishing. And as I'm getting into it this morning, I'm supposed to do these snatches, right? Like you pull this heavy barbell from the ground over your head, right? And man, after we were doing 3 rounds of 15, and once you did that, those snatches, you do 35 double under jump ropes, and then 15 front squats with it was like 75 pounds. And it's all for time. You got to do as fast as possible, no rest. You go from one to the other. And I'm looking at this barbell after the 3rd round. I'm going, I hate you. I don't want to lift you. You know, I don't want to do this right now. But you do it because you have to. The time is there. It's moving. So bingo, you pick it up and you just go. And that's like filling your calendar. You know, you fill your calendar, because the reality is if you don't, the fear creeps in. The I can't, the frustration, all these negative emotions. So you've got to bring in the activity. You've got to do it. You've got to bring in the activity. That's what cancels out all the noise. So again, we all have the same fear. I get that. We all go through the same challenges. The difference maker is, are you packing your calendar out in this business? Now, what does that look like? Okay. What that looks like is you got to get in front of people. You got to be telling a story. And a lot of you are like, man, Josh, I get that. Can it be easier? No, it's not easier. Okay. It's hard. The reason why there's very few very successful people in the world is because it's hard. When it gets down to it, you know, it is hard work. You're going through the nose. You're going to be dealing with lots of different personalities, and you're growing. That the hardest part isn't necessarily the work itself. I believe the work is very simple, albeit you're exerting lots of energy and effort. So in that sense, it is hard. You're working hard. You're laboring, right? You're doing it. But the harder work is you. And that was for me. You know, I suspect it'll be for you as well. Almost everyone I've ever met who's achieved extraordinary success, whether it was build a $100 million or $1 billion company or built a massive network. Either way, their biggest obstacle was the 6 inches in between their ears. You know, that gray matter in there is getting over themselves. But look, you know what? It's not about you. I got to get past this. I got to put my ego on hold and know that I got to learn. I got to grow. You know, I'm not going through something. I'm growing through something. Now, that's how I believe we were designed. You know, it's a stretching process. Everything in all areas of life, growth causes pain. You know, many of you, you grew taller, right? As you were a young child, and as you grew up, they have this thing called growing pains. You know, and you would feel it. Now I'm short, and I never really felt growing pains that way because I didn't grow that fast. I guess it was subtle over time. But here's the thing. I know that's a process of life. There's pain in that. There's pain in, you know, when you have a new tooth coming in. You know, my daughters they're losing teeth and new ones are coming in, and they feel it. You know, with babies when they start teething, there's pain in the growth process. We know this, and it's not going to be any different in your business. As you're talking to people, as you're going through each conversation, telling the story, there's going to be pain there. There's going to be pain of getting over the challenges that you're inevitably going to come in contact with, regardless of your business venture, regardless of of what it is you're doing, your employment situation, right? If you're going to expect more, you've got to become more. And this is just a staple fact in life. Is the desire to go, okay, I want to achieve X. I want to do this. You set a goal for yourself. You say, I'm going to be there. And then what happens inevitably is challenge. It hits you. And most people wither from it. Most people, they hit that almost blanket of cold challenge. And they go, wow, that's cold. I don't want to deal with that. And they go back inside where it's comfortable, where it's warm, where they feel like they're going to get accepted again. Because rejection's hard. Rejections is not easy to go through, especially from people who we believe are our friends. And here's what I've discovered: your friends are the ones who genuinely love you, regardless of who you are. They know who you are, and they love you anyway. They accept you. So anyone who doesn't accept you, they're not your friend. They're just someone you're comfortable around. That you have your mask on, they have their mask on, and you pretend to be people that you're not, and there's this fake relationship. My suggestion to you is get rid of that, okay? And if you're more mature in life, you probably already know this, but unfortunately, I've met so many people that as they've gotten older, they got stuck in this false reality they created that's not even real. And they have a bunch of people around them that aren't genuinely friends. They're not friends. Your friends want to help you. And think about the people that you're actually friends with. Isn't it true that you want to help them? If they came to you with a problem, if they came to you with a business, came to you with anything, wouldn't you at least try to help them? You may not want to do it. You may not want to be involved, right, for whatever reason. But you'd certainly help them, wouldn't you? I have friends that come to me all the time with their different businesses and different opportunities and different things that they're doing. And I at least listen to them, and I try to find out a way I can help them if I can at all. That's a friend, right? You're that way to people. Shouldn't you expect that same respect in return? So when you're going out and talking to people, I'm not worried if they're going to say no to me. I don't care if they do. That's okay. My job is just to share it with them for two reasons. One, they may be interested. Two, they may know someone who's interested. And three, I need the practice. I need the practice to do it over and over again for me to grow, for me to be able to go out there and become more. I can only become more by dealing with different scenarios. I gotta, man, I've seen so much in my career of just going into people's living rooms, talking to people, sharing the vision of what I believe to be a better future for myself and for anyone who wants to join me. And a lot of people don't see it the same way, and that's okay. But a lot of people do. And a lot of those people, maybe it's not for them, but they know somebody. One of the greatest books I ever read was this book by Ayn Rand. It's called Atlas Shrugged. And if you haven't read this, then this is a towering novel here. I mean, this book right here is unbelievable. And there's a gentleman in the book, and I don't want to give it away for those of you reading it or going to read it. There's something that keeps you reading it, right? And there's this idea, but there's a person in this book, a character in this book, and he's creating this. I'm trying to not give away the plot of the book, but he's trying to create this alliance, right, with some of the major producers of the world that are creating everything, and he's trying to get in alignment with them. And these are all very powerful people, right? Some of the most powerful people of their time, and he's trying to get in alignment with them. But he went and showed up physically at their place of business or at their house and had a personal conversation with them. And that's what a lot of us got to do. And the technology is great, guys. I love the technology. I'm a big proponent of social media and these channels now. We can use these, but there's nothing like a personal eye-to-eye conversation with someone where they can feel your energy in person. They can see your eyes, and you being sold out on this is such a massive. It's such a massive indicator, right? You going, look, I've drawn a line in the sand. This is where I'm going. This is what I believe is going to be great for the future. And check this out. And you're sharing the story, sharing your opportunity of what you're doing. Not just sell and convince. It's the biggest misnomer, I think, when people look at network marketing. They look at it and go, well, I don't want to be a salesperson. I don't want to convince anybody. Okay. Look, neither do I. But the reality is what I do want to do is be passionate about something. I want to be going in a positive direction. And once I've landed in that space, my job is just to simply share that with as many people as I possibly can. Okay. And I get better every time I do it. Again, think about this. Again, you're adding to the positive side of the scale. And every person you talk to, you're either going to find someone who's interested, find someone who knows someone who's interested, or you're going to get better. You're going to get the practice of being able to do that presentation and share from your heart. And in that process, you're going to grow. Okay. I look at it today, and my life is amazing. I'm honored beyond measure. I really am. What's crazy is what this gives you the ability to do is design your life. Sincerely, you design your life the way you want to live it, and play for that man or that woman that's 5 years older than you are today. God willing, you're going to get there, right? And play for that man, play for that woman. Everything you do today is for that person. I live in a world today because, 6 years ago, I decided to play for the 5-year older version of me, 5-year older version of my family. And every decision I made was for that. Of course, it wasn't just 5. I'm playing for, my grandchildren. I'm playing for the future generations. These are the moves I'm making today. But what the reality is, I get to walk into that situation. It doesn't take forever, but it doesn't happen overnight either. So, you've got to have that balance. Go, all right, 3 to 5 years is a 3 to 5 year plan. And where most people stop is they stop at, 30 to 90 days. 30 days, they start going, and then they give up. 30 days, they're all in. And then something happens. The wind blows on them. Someone tells them no. Their best friend quits. The best friend says, this is, I saw this online, or, my cousin said this. And they stop forward motion. Oh my goodness. And they start getting into their head. And what happens? Again, all these negative emotions start creeping back in, and the activity is dying. It happens over and over and over again. And the challenge is we're thinking about the business nonstop, and the delusion is we're actually working. That's just what crazy. The psychology of this business is nuts, man, because we're thinking about it so much. We think we're actually doing the work. What the work in this business is getting in front of somebody new. That's it. That is the work. The skeleton, the frame is showing up to everything. Okay, you're showing up to everything. You're showing up to these live Tuesday night Facebook broadcasts, bringing people. A lot of people are doing this in event spaces right now. They're filling up living rooms, and they're having people on live watching it. Okay, that's another way to do it. You're adding to it every week, or you're doing a live event in your own marketplace, which is ideal. That's what you really want to get to. You want to get away from the technology and get to this live personal experience. So hopefully you're taking this serious. You're on the live events. You're taking notes of how you would do a presentation. You're studying it. You're going to put it in your own words, and you're going to repeat the process in a live environment that you can take. Okay, that's where you want to move to. But you're showing up to everything, and then the work is, how many people are you getting in front of every day? Part-time, spare time, full-time, whatever it looks like. That is the goal. That's what makes this business work. Thinking about it nonstop, designing plans, all this stuff is decent. It helps add to the muscle memory, creating your future, the vision boards, all this stuff. Hey, my love. How you doing, beautiful? I'm proud of you. It's my daughter. So that's the joy. So anyway, as long as you're keeping the main thing, which is getting in front of new people, okay, with the understanding that you're adding to this side of the scale. And that was my obsession. I'm like, all I know is it's only a matter of time before the scale tips. And when the scale tips, boom, you're successful. And you walk into that reality that you're creating for yourself right now. I know many of you got started in business because you want to have a better quality of life. You want to be able to be there for your family and for your kids. It's amazing that at cost it actually takes to be able to have a quality life for your kids. What's up, love? You want a hug? Come on over here. It's okay. Yeah, to be able to have the lifestyle. What's up, baby? You want to say hi to everybody? Say hi. No? I love you. She's just got back from gymnastics. She's
ballet.
Oh, ballet. Okay. Ballet today. Gymnastics tomorrow. I don't know. They're in all sorts of classes. Here's the cool thing. This stuff is not cheap, right? Now, before kids, I didn't realize that having activities, schooling, it's nuts. There's so much expense that goes into it. And I feel privileged because my wife and I were able to be with them nonstop. So what is your life going to be like in 5 years, 3 years? Have you planned it out? If you haven't, take some time tonight and do that. Get with your spouse or significant other, or with yourself if it's just you right now, and plan out what your next 3 to 5 years are going to look like. Where are you going to live? What are you going to do? Where are you going to spend your time? Are you going to travel? Where are you going to go? How are you going to live your life, and where are you going to live it? Plan that out and vividly imagine it. And I would cut out some pictures, put it in front of you, write those goals down so you can look at them every day, and then get into action. Go, look, this is where I'm going, and I'm going to do this every day because I need to tip the scales. I need to tip the scales so I can eventually live in that reality. And I know this sounds crazy to some of you that haven't been there yet. Believe me, it sounded crazy to me, but it happened for me, and it's happened for everyone I know that's been consistent long enough. It's not some hocus pocus, okay? It's hocus focus, all right? And that's how I like to think about it. If I focus on this and I'm stay consistent, it will happen. It's inevitable. It's only a matter of time. It always happens. It's the way of life. It's all around us in nature. It's the simple rule of planting, sowing and reaping. That's the deal. It's the same in your business, guys. For some of you, harvest time is coming. You've been planting for a long time, and the harvest is coming, I promise you. For some of you, it's planting time. It's sowing time. You got to get out there and start sowing those seeds, and you got to do it consistently long enough to make sure that your effort is worth it. I was one of those for my first 5 years in the space, was up and down and up and down. I'd show up and then I wouldn't, and I would think I was doing it, and I'd do it for a couple of weeks, and maybe even a month, and then I'd quit for 2 months or 3 months. And then I get back in, and it was just ebb and flow, and I was never getting anywhere. Now, the good news is it's not wasted time. There was experience in all of that. I was growing in all of that. So it wasn't wasted time. It was not any of it's wasted. And I promise you this, nothing of your time has been wasted. You haven't wasted time. You haven't wasted energy. Okay? All of it's preparing you for this moment in life. And the question is, are you going to take advantage? Are you going to take action now? Are you going to give yourself the gift of living with passion, of giving it all that you can just to see what you can do in this life? I know you got it within you. I believe in you. I believe in what you can do because I know what happened for me. And I'm not special. I'm certainly not better than anybody. So my message today, when these emotions come in, okay, fear, negativity, discouragement, disappointment, anger, rejection, failure, jealousy, any of these negative emotions, counteract it with activity. Put so much activity in that these emotions go away and you start adding to the positive side of the scales so you can inevitably get to where you want to go. So that's my 30 minutes this week. We're going to have an incredible webinar training next week with some amazing leadership. I'd encourage you to get back on here, get charged, get filled up. I will spend some time with some questions. For those of you who have any questions, more than happy to stay on in either field here, the webinar or the Facebook Live. I know we got a lot of people here on the webinar. Glad you're still doing this. And we got some good people on the Facebook Live. So if you've got questions pertaining to anything I've said, please go ahead. Hey, Linda, I appreciate that about the book. That's awesome. Thank you so much. By the way, something you could all do to help me, I would be honored beyond measure if you have read the book. If you haven't read the book, read the book, please. Okay. But if you have read it, if you can go to Amazon.com, go to the Kindle version. It'll be up. Actually, the hard copy will be up on Amazon here, I think in the next week or so. We just shipped them, a whole bunch of them. But the Kindle version's up and you could do a review. And the review would mean the world to me. I've got some great reviews from a few people. I really appreciate it. But I've gotten so many more reviews from Facebook and from so many of you sending text messages and Instagram messages, and I appreciate that. But if you could just convert that to Amazon, that would be very helpful, and I'd greatly, greatly appreciate it. Alan McGuatlin, what's up, buddy? Alicia Humphreys, thank you. Let's see. Shanna, thank you. Appreciate that. Linda, you're right. If it's to be, it's up to me. Allison, thank you so much. Erica, our whole family loves you, and David and the kids. You guys are wonderful. Can't wait to see you real soon. Let's see. Where else? I'm just kind of looking back and forth here. Looks like we're good. No questions. I'm just reading through. Joey, what's up? Joey, man, we go way back. Joey was in the beginning of my run in networking. How you been, buddy? Good to see your family on Facebook. Thank God for Facebook, right? We get to connect with one another. So glad you're there, brother. Let's see here. Trying to go through this. Okay. Just trying to find out all the questions. Okay. Well, on Amazon. Go Amazon.com. Just type in my name, Joshua Denny, or the book Inevitable and Joshua Denny. And then, yes, Amazon. And then just click on a review and type in the review and give it 5 stars or 6 stars or whatever you want to do. I don't want to tell you what to do, but whatever you feel. Okay, guys, I think that's it. I appreciate your time. It's an honor and privilege to have shared this moment with you. God bless you guys, each and every one of you. And I will look forward to seeing you next week. Thank you. Appreciate y'all. Bye-bye now.